In the forgotten town of Black Hollow, wrapped in a fog that never seemed to lift, there was an antique store called the Time Chest. Few knew of its existence, and those who did rarely returned. Inside, among rotting furniture and silent clocks, rested an old mirror, framed in hand-carved black wood. It was a 17th century piece, said to come from a village in England called Black Hollow. Clara Antunes, a lover of antiques, bought it without hesitation, drawn to the eerie, enigmatic aura that surrounded it. Once home, the mirror was hung in the upstairs hallway, directly across from the couple's bedroom. The house felt colder from that moment on. That very night, Lucas, their 7-year-old son, woke up screaming. He claimed he had seen a woman in the mirror, a figure draped in a black veil, with long fingers pressed to the glass, whispering his name. Clara and her husband Marcos dismissed it as a child's imagination. But as the days passed, it became clear that something was very wrong. The mirror seemed alive. Its reflection was never quite right. Sometimes it showed different rooms, or a distorted version of the house. People's reflections lagged slightly behind their real movements. At other times, objects that weren't in the room appeared in the glass. One night, Clara was sure she saw someone standing behind her. But when she turned around, no one was there. The reflection, however, still showed the shadow for a moment longer. Things quickly got worse. The family cat vanished without a trace. All that was left were dark stains and small, barefoot footprints that led to and from the mirror. Marcos began sleepwalking, always stopping in front of the mirror, muttering incomprehensible words. Lucas became withdrawn, as if something were draining his energy night after night. Clara felt it constantly. Not a presence outside the house, but something watching them from within. Desperate, she began researching the mirror's origin. She discovered that Black Hollow had suffered a string of mysterious deaths in the 17th century, just after a woman named Eleonora Graves was executed for witchcraft. Before burning, Eleonora had cursed the village, vowing to return through the only object the flames could not consume, the black-framed mirror. Since then, it had been passed down through generations, not as a family heirloom, but as a portal. A gateway not just to the other side, but for someone on the other side. Records spoke of an entity known as the living reflection, a bodiless creature that used the mirror to watch, to wait, and eventually to cross over. It didn't reveal itself right away. It whispered, observed, and once the connection was strong enough, it acted. Every home that housed the mirror met a tragic end. Families vanished, people went mad. Objects scorched from within without a single mark outside. The mirror could never be destroyed. It simply disappeared, only to resurface elsewhere, waiting to be found again. The night after her discovery, Clara woke to the sound of glass being touched. She found Marcos standing before the mirror. He was still, his eyes locked on his own reflection. But what looked back wasn't him. It was a distorted version, eyes completely black, and a smile too wide to be human. When Clara called to him, he turned slowly and said, "You shouldn't have brought me back." His voice was doubled, part human, part something far older. Then the mirror began to drip a dark liquid like living ink. It didn't shatter, it melted. Marcos was pulled into it, right in front of Clara's eyes while she screamed, paralyzed. When the police arrived, there were no signs of struggle, no sign of Marcos. Just a blank wall where the mirror had been. No evidence, no reflection. Clara fled with her son the next morning. They left the house behind. When she tried to return to the antique store, all she found was a dead-end alley, the Time Chest.